welcome to News Magazine with me, Irbad Ibrahim, and my colleague.
Abna Safo.
Abna, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing superb, thank
Great.
you. Today is United Nations Day, but before we discuss you and other news items we have, procrastination, they say, is a thief of time. How well are you utilizing your time? The only time you have is the present. What is gone, and you can't predict what happens in the future. So we'll go for a short insight, a motivational one, on the subject of procrastination. We'll be back shortly.
The days that you don't feel like getting up out of bed for class in the morning, the days you feel like quitting and giving up and giving in. Listen to me. The only thing that's going to get you out of the bed, the only thing that's going to make you strive past that obstacle, get past that brick wall, the only thing that's going to make you get up and do what you're supposed to do is what your purpose is. It's what you dream about, where you want to be. What do you want to become 5, 10, 15 years down the line? I want your dream to be so clear, so vivid, that when you wake up in the morning, all you got to do is step into your dream. When you wake up in the morning and look at your goals are going to tell you what time to get up. Your goals are going to tell you who you should be hanging out with. People ask me all the time, should I do this? Should I do that? Listen, I can't tell, but your goals will tell you how much sleep you're going to need. Your goals are going to define what time you get up, how you live your life, how you move, when you say yes and when you say no. What's your why? What would happen if you didn't become successful? Who would you be letting down? Identify your why, because your why is deeper than a car. Your why will take you further than a house. What happens when you buy a car? What happens when you buy a house? What happens after that? There are those of you who don't understand the power of your why. And what I need for you to do for me is, when you make your moves on a daily basis, I need you to think about your why. Because if your why is strong enough, you're gonna go to college and you're gonna study with passion. You're gonna study because you want to study, because you want to be there. And here's the crazy thing, you'll start to enjoy it. You'll start to love it. It won't be a problem waking up at 5 or 6 in the morning anymore. You gotta change that mindset. Some of you, you're stuck. Not because you don't have the gift. You're stuck because your mindset is off. Nothing has changed for me. I keep going to the next level because I keep changing my thinking. You have to do what successful people do if you want to be successful. You need to use your pain to push toward greatness. You need to understand that pain is temporary. It might last for a second. It might last for a minute, an hour, a day, or even months. But sooner or later, if you do not surrender, if you do not give up, if you do not give in, it will subside. Listen to me. You can talk like a victim, you can act like a victim, or you can be a victor and you can say, despite the odds, I will defy the odds. And I say it all the time, it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not going to be easy. But if you're willing to master the levels, if you're willing to get in your lane and stay in your lane and dominate your lane, you'll do just fine. The first thing you got to do for me is do not accept the life that has been given to you. Do not accept the life that they're trying to give you. Create your own. You can create your own world. So I want you to wake up every day and I want you to be aware of your choices. Look, I need you to be aware. Who are you hanging out with? How are you spending your time? What are you reading? What are you listening to? Look at your choices, right? And if your choices don't line up to where you want to be in 10 or 15 years time, whatever your goals are, I need your choices to line up with...
You're welcome back. And this show is brought to you by a dedicated team of crew and that work behind the scenes. And today is the birthday of two important people, Kukwa and Abena. She's just like you, Kukwa. I wish her a happy birthday. And then this cameraman, a very fine gentleman, he's in the person of Daddy Joe. We'll pop a little, soft drink with Daddy Joe before the end of the show. But Abena, before you go to the trending news, you see, in Ghana, we just allow the wind to blow.
Yes.
It blows, and then we move wherever the wind blows. Ghanaians find it strange when you ask them, what are your projections for the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? The only time we make resolutions about our future is when it's 31st December, New Year's Eve. Then people keep asking, what are your New Year resolutions? But you need to plan your life. Right. On average, you would live between 60 and 70 years in the world. So if you are 20 and you don't know what your future will look like, then it means you have missed your way. Exactly. And so therefore, I believe Ghanaians should plan. Definitely. If you are a woman, at what age do you want to get married? At what age do you want to finish school? At what age do you want to prepare your kids for whatever vision you have for your family? And then we don't have the culture of writing, because when you write things, your fingertips are like your memory.
Yes.
They keep reminding you. So therefore, just close to your bed, what do you remind yourself every day of? Normally, we only think about becoming millionaires, and we plaster our, bedrooms with pictures of wealthy people. But as an African, where do you see yourself in the next 20 years or 30 years? I believe we should be writing that all the time and reminding ourselves. What do you think about that?
Yes, that's a perfect, advice you can give out, because it's very important to plan your life. I think this former South African president had talked about the average African man not planning even 10 years ahead, which is really wrong, I think. We should be able to plan our lives.
The president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he's been trying to be president for the past few decades. Yeah. So maybe he planned this while in university. Yeah. Whoever does anything has to plan.
Exactly.
So therefore, young people around the world, and especially in Ghana, don't procrastinate. You ask a person, what course do you want to do? Anything goes. Really know. What job do you want to do? The person studied marketing, and the person is a bank teller now. Oh, that is what is available. We shouldn't waver and vacillate on matters of our career choices and our principles. And time is of utmost importance. Yes. Make the best out of it before you lose it.
Definitely.
What do you have for us by way of
okay,
news?
As usual, I got a lot of trending news. The KNUST lecturers cane students, others ordered to kneel in the rain. This is from My Joy Online. I mean, why would a lecturer cane a student and then ask him to kneel in this? Are they kids? Like, I don't really get it.
The KNUST affair, I've decided to swim against the tide. Okay. The narrative has been that the school authorities have not been nice to the students. Yeah. Lecturers haven't been nice. The Ashanti Regional Police Command hasn't been nice. Yeah. But I would blame the students.
Why?
Because, life is full of choices. Yeah. And we all went to high school before we transitioned to university. Yeah. Many other people you studied with maybe passed better than you, but no financial support from anywhere, so they are home. So I see getting higher education as a privilege that you shouldn't abuse. We say don't allow yourself to go through the university. Let the university pass through you as well. But that doesn't mean carrying out demonstrations. That doesn't mean stripping yourself naked. I witnessed on more than one occasion when I was in a Kwafo hall, Commonwealth students stripped themselves naked, only in the name of student brinksmanship and the fact that they are only guys in the hall. So I'm a proponent of the idea that we shouldn't have single-sex halls. They should be mixed. And the students should not forget the priority, why they are there. You are there to make good grades and get a good job and take care of your family. So don't allow any alumnus to tell you that this is a tradition and therefore you have to hold fast to it. And to the alumni, I ask this question. The purpose of any alumni group is to go to the campus and encourage people to study. When they are in level 400, talk to them about job opportunities when they are there. The groups that are making noise, ask them how many students they've been able to secure jobs for. So therefore, this incitement against authority is alien to our culture as a people. I'm for the school authority, I'm for the regional command of the Ghana Police Service, I'm for RegSec, and I'm against the students because the students went wrong. And each property they vandalized, because KNUST is not a Ashesi, it's not ICGC University, Central University. These are private universities, but this is a public university. Every property on campus is the taxpayers' money that has been used for the purchase of that property. So for you to say you want to shijama, and they say don't hold that vigil because it will affect other students, then you decide to go on a rampage. I think we shouldn't mince words in telling them the truth, that they went wrong, now you are out of school. But your colleagues are studying and you are out of school because the school has been shut down. Okay, but what is the costive factor to the vigil that the students held I mean, in the past, because I don't really get the reason for the vigil, because if a student, it was more like they had been forced to do something they don't want to do, because I feel mixing them, mixing student, it's not the ideal to whatever, maybe the facilities they don't have or whatever, that is causing them, telling the school authorities to mix students. I don't really get it, because our fingers are not the same. And some people go to the school, some people, parents, are able to just afford for school fees. And then they go to school. Some of them feed on their friends. Abena, you see, I think wherever Kwame Nkrumah is right now, he'll be rolling in his grave, in his tomb. And he'll be quite ashamed at what KNUST has turned into today. This is the country's foremost technological university. I get it, but show me in the past 3 decades, in the past 30 years, one technological device that has come out of KNUST. When lights even go off, a technological university can't power itself. Go to the campus. You know, they have very towering structures. The elevators are spoiled. A technological university doesn't have the technical know-how to repair that. Eija, which is an outlying vicinity, should be powered as a result of the use of biogas by these people. But we are not seeing any of those. All Nations University in Koforidua is shooting staff into airspace, into the space. And you've given us nothing in the past 40 or 50 years. The least you would want from a technological university is a demonstration. So to that end, I entirely agree with the school authorities that they need to stay the course. They have to be focused on their education, because we've had nothing from the staples of KNUST. Go to other countries. When you enter a university campus, the serenity and tranquility over there, the academic ambience that allows you to study. First-year students are pwned. They are molested and brutalized. So therefore, the world has moved on. The days of charging Yenshijama, while you misbehave, others are producing electronic gadgets you purchase every day. Zuckerberg didn't come out of outer space. He went through a certain educational system. And the least we can do is to remind them and then tell them that they are wrong on this one. They need to respect the school authority. Yes, but that doesn't also call for the school authorities to brutalize students, asking them to kneel in the rain and then beating them. I'm totally, against that. You know, as I said, people have mobilized against the school authorities, and old boys are saying all sorts of things about the vice chancellor and all that. So the narrative is tipped a bit against the school authority. But fundamentally, as a conservative society, we respect authority, we respect rule of law. And the number one priority for going to the university is to study and not to go on demonstrations.
Definitely. Okay, away from that story, our next story is from Peace FM. The director of the Center of Global Finance at the School of African and Oriental Studies at the University of London has described Ghana's ongoing effort to a digital formalized economy as a timely step in the right direction.
All of this is rhetoric, and we can only achieve that when these university students sit up and learn the practical ways of making this country the industrialized countries we want. And JAMA is the last thing that will take us to this promised land.
Okay, but saying the digitalized system in Ghana is the right direction, do you think it's the right direction?
It will help, and I think not too long ago, the Vice President came up with the idea of a digital mall, an online mall.
Okay, that's a good step then. Our next one, the next story, 5 dead and 22 injured at tipper truck bus collide at Bansu. This is from
Road accidents kill us. Road accidents are like the tsunami or the atomic bomb we have in Ghana. And when you listen to the reports, many Ghanaians die as a result of road accidents as a unilateral cause of death than any other thing in this country. So therefore, I believe we need to continue reminding policymakers to work on our roads. And again, why should there be drinking pubs at lorry stations?
Yes. Even along the road, the highways, especially when you're traveling to Kumasi, there are drinking pubs that some drivers could stop, go have fun, and then go back to their driving business to head towards wherever they're going, which I think is really
therefore,
wrong.
I think there needs to be a holistic, and then people should drive only when they are certified to drive. Sometimes spare drivers, take passengers on intercity journeys, so to speak. So therefore, MTTD is doing what it can. It should enforce the law so we protect lives.
And I think the individual should also watch out for that as well, because sometimes someone goes in for a bus, you see that the driver is super drunk, and then you still join that bus. You're putting your own life at risk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Away from that, the Media Commission petitions Nana Akufo-Addo over DDT platform graphics online.
I think there has been a lot of brouhaha, and Star Times was mentioned not too long ago, and the media landscape in Ghana has become quite vibrant. Much as we call for local content, we need to partner and collaborate with other people around the world. And then the EPL, for example, the English Premier League, has taken a lot of attention, especially over the weekend. So therefore, to draw attention to our own local league, the NMC could come up with ideas that will encourage people to patronize Ghanaian football. We can't ban DSTV entirely, it's not possible, but we should have innovative ways of encouraging people to watch our own local league. And then the Premier Bets, the betting organizations that have come as a result of watching international television, those kind of enterprises don't help the development of our children. So therefore, if we're able to veer their attention away from that and feed them conservative, wholesome content, I believe that we'll be able to claw back what little we have lost as a result of international influence on our media landscape.
Okay. Moving from our local news portals to international, Snapchat bets on new show to win users back. That's from CNN.
Okay. The CNN says...
CNN, yes.
Yeah, it says what? The story?
The story says, Snapchat bets on new show to win users.
Oh, Snapchat. You're on Snap, right? Yes. Surprisingly, I'm not a fan of Snap.
Oh, okay.
So these are very nice ways of interacting with family and friends. And we have other social media networks. But Facebook is buying everything in sight. Whenever Facebook says there's an innovation, WhatsApp came, Facebook bought it. Snap has also been bought by Instagram, has been bought by Facebook as well. So that is the ish thing. That is the zeitgeist. That is what is in fashion. And therefore, grannies and mothers and fathers should also be online and then catch the fever, because it's exciting when you're able to interact with people audiovisually in real time. Whatever you do now, you can actually show on Snapchat and other social media networks. So for me, it's a step in the right direction that we continue to wake up and smell the coffee.
Okay. All right. That's all for our trending news for today. Everybody's got a telephone conversation with our guest on the studio today. It's rather unfortunate he's not been able to present himself here today. So I'll take a leave of him. I'll be back with comments.
Thank you so much. That was Abena Safo. Very wonderful. We go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we speak to an official of the Ghana National Association of Teachers on Basic Education. Those who can stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Do you want to enroll your ward in a school where quality basic education, discipline and moral upbringing is our hallmark? Then come to Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences Basic School. Great Asas, Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences has vacancies in preschool, lower and upper primary, JHS 1 and JHS 2, with spacious and ventilated classrooms. The school also has excellent boarding facilities for students from upper primary to JHS. Great Asas also has a well-stocked library, a school bus that picks your ward from home to school and back home, with adequate security measures to ensure your ward's safety. Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences Preschool has state-of-the-art learning materials to make learning fun for your ward. We also have the Cadet Corps and a cultural troop to tap hidden talents in your ward. Locate Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences at Awoshi Last Stop, Accra. Great Asa!
Hello, lovely people of Africa, African Youth Time. This is the show, as I rightly said, that gives African youth the platform to have an up-close with living legends who are helping build the continent.
The youth of Africa, they have a lot of potential.
What is killing Africans is our inability to discover and identify our potentials and what we can do for ourselves.
Nobody makes you a leader. You become a leader.
We are not poor. The resources in Congo alone can feed the whole Africa.
Onipa how ene ne da achenti e na abribia wo sori prayer hwehwe na hoto ahoto ne nso e ma prekope enkukuhwe ase ene wo how bebre e na ewomu wenti e na Kantanka TV ahye dwumadie foforo kra ya to din se edwaso nsem wo dwaso nsem dwumadie so ye baba pne dwadefo ne abusa wo mo how ene wo mama ne wo mo efamu na empo se edaw bitai akira a wo de pre ahwehwe won da achen ahoto eno ti hia wo nua ba ama adwobi e wo Kantanka TV ne afa edwaso nsem enfam bro.
You're welcome back, and today we continue our conversation on basic education, and we'll soon speak with President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, Mr. Kofi Agbe Kabono. You can join the conversation via phone on 0558-656-899 and keep your WhatsApp messages coming. Kofi, welcome to the show, Kofi. Hello, Kofi.
Hello.
Yeah, Kofi, thank you so much for making time.
Yeah, okay.
How is Nagrat faring currently? We've not had any turbulence from your quarters, so to speak, in the past 2 years or so. Is everything all right?
For the past 2 years,
Or is rather the past few months, I should say?
Well, there is a saying that when you go to the cemetery, it looks peaceful, but it doesn't mean that people will want to be in the cemetery. It is not as if we don't have challenges. We have a lot of challenges that is bedeviling the teachers today. But the fact that we have not taken an industrial action doesn't mean that we are not aware of those challenges.
So we'll delve into the education of the discussion on basic education and the kind of role NAGRAT has to play. But if you may, you say there's eerie lull, not because you don't have challenges, but because you want to be dealing with government and other stakeholders on the quiet. What are some of the challenges, if you may?
Well, as we speak today, teachers in Ghana are carrying bigger burden on their shoulders as teachers than they have ever carried before. Teaching period, contact hours, has been increased tremendously without any additional compensation. We are also talking about numerous teachers who owe various sums of money, covering various types of arrears that have not been paid. And the general economic malaise that is afflicting the nation is also hitting very hard on the Ghanaian teacher. This is just a few of the challenges. Of course, we are all aware that the environmental conditions that should exist for proper teaching and learning to be achieved does not exist in our schools. We don't have adequate teaching learning materials. We don't have the environment that can contribute positively to teaching. All these things exist. And yet, versatile as we are doing the best that we can, though we don't get the commendation and recognition that society ought to give us.
And finally, because we are not discussing politics anyway, but teachers play a central role in the governance system of every country. His Excellency the President has forever echoed his vision for the educational sector. But despite these challenges, has government been responsive to some of the challenges you've decided not to blow out of proportion?
Well, it couldn't be out of proportion because everything that is blown will be in proportion. The fact, you see, politicians give us words, but unfortunately, the actions do not back the words. If the government says he wants to make the teacher the central fulcrum around which education policy it revolves, then one expects that the teacher himself or herself should be part of the formulation and implementation of every educational policy in this country. The teacher himself should be motivated in such a manner that he feels confident and proud of the job that he or she is doing.
Okay.
That is when we will get the outcomes from education that we expect.
Okay, and Kofi, I thought we needed to put that on record so that policymakers would hear you. And Kofi, take us through the kind of policy we have as a country surrounding basic education, if there is any at all.
Well, basic education policy are several, but the summary of it is to prepare the child in such a manner that the child can take on post-basic education confidently and adequately. The teaching that ought to take place at the basic level should build enough foundation, or strong foundation, for the child to be capable of building upon in any academic endeavor. For example, numeracy and literacy is a fundamental focus in the training of a child in basic education, so that whatever type of academic exercise that he or she engages in we have strong grounding in numeracy and literacy.
And so, as things stand, how disadvantaged are kids from classes 1 to 6 in public schools, schools we call Saito, when they are compared with those in privileged private schools?
Well, before we delve into this discussion, there is the general conclusion that private schools at the basic level are doing better than the public schools at the basic level. Now, before you go deep, you should ask yourself, what caliber of students go to the private school and what caliber of students goes to the public school? If the cream de la cream of our society, the middle class of our society, take all their children to private schools, and we all leave the downtrodden to access public basic school, then we shouldn't be surprised about the type of outcome we are getting at the public basic school. Because if I am someone who understands education and I'm ready to support my child by way of the provision of resources, books, learning materials, extra classes, private teachers, if I send my child to private school, and in addition I do all these, then I should not be surprised that the private school child is doing better. And I'll give you a classical scenario. In a house, the parent sends his own children to the private school, and the maid or the children of the maid are sent to public school. Now, if you have a public school child who lives in a hall and chamber facility with his or her parents, the television is in the hall. They are watching the numerous soap operas that have been translated in Akan. What time, what environment do you think that child should have to be able to study on his own, to be able to come in terms with his private school colleague who is living in a self-contained and have a space to be able to study? This example tells you about the caliber of people we send to the public schools and the type of results that we get.
And Kofi, NAGRAT has graduate, practitioners. And NAT may have others, but NAGRAT is quite privileged that your members are people who have gone through the four corners of University of Education, Winneba, for example. Is there a telltale effect on the kind of teaching methodology at the basic level when the facilitator or teacher is a graduate, or it's more about the numeracy and literacy you've talked about, and every 45 or 50-year-old auntie can do that, as we see in some public basic schools?
No, it is not about being a graduate or not being a graduate. No matter your certification, no matter your competence, if the tools that you need to achieve results do not exist, no matter what you do, you are not going to get the results. We have something in education called the mirror effect. The teacher does his bit, and the child, and when I say the child, I'm saying the child with the parents also do their bit. Now you see, the public schools have suffered from political populism and demagoguery. What I mean by that is every government comes and wants to look very good in the eyes of the people. So you tell public basic school parents not to pay one person. Now they don't pay one person. You, the government, you're also not supplying the resources. So you have a situation where the private school, the parent pays and the resources are there. In the public school, you say they shouldn't pay, and yet government is not forthcoming with the resources. What results do you expect to get? It's not about methodology, it's about resources.
How resourced, and I'll soon ask you about the populist, interventions you talked about. How resourced is Basic LA or MA in the Republic of Ghana? Is there a library? Is there a cafeteria that is in good shape? And how is the place of convenience like? How resourced are public basic schools?
In fact, you have nailed it right on the head. When you go to most public local authority schools, most of them are sorry sights to behold. Even places of convenience is challenged. The school environment, the children are in competition with the local folks in the use of the school space. You have a situation where even sometimes by the end of the term, most of the furniture that they have, because they are also being used by the local community, either they are broken down or they are beyond use. The environment itself is that does not excite teaching and learning. So psychologically, the child and the teacher is broken down to submission before teaching and learning begins.
So there is already a deficiency, Kofi, and these kids are competing with the local communities to eke out what little resource they have. What do you think about young ministers that come to beg a school principal that when you close from school between 4 p.m. and 6, I want to carry out one form of a religious activity or another? Is that still an insidious problem we have at the basic school level?
Well, that is even wrong. You know, the dynamic there is this. Sometimes some of these preachers come and they say they want to use the school facilities from 4 to 6 or on weekends, and that they will paint the classroom or they will fix the broken door. The head of the school, because resources are not forthcoming from government, yield to some of these enticing requests. At the end of the day, it affects the children.
Kofi, let's now delve into the meat of the discussion. We've had a few experts pass through. Some have had cause to complain about the overbearing number of subjects we teach kids at the basic level. How many, it's been long since I left basic school, more than 2 decades ago. How many subjects are people in classes 1 up to 6 taught currently? And what are those subjects?
Well, currently, apart from English, mathematics, and basic science, that is compulsory. Some other subjects have been added to it. For example, if the child is in a Gan-speaking community, they study Gan. If the child is in a Akan-speaking community, they study Akan. Now, and then of course, some subjects like environmental studies and so on and so forth from class 1 to class 6. You see, for me, I don't think it is in the number of subjects per se. I think it is making sure that the child is taught in an environment and the child is taught properly. Let us not forget that the junior high school is the first part of the secondary school system. So when the child leaves class 6 and goes to the junior high school, as a matter of fact, the child is actually in secondary school. The child is in the first part of the secondary school. Then the second part of the secondary school is the senior high system that we have. So before the child goes to the first part of secondary school, that child should have the basic knowledge in how to read and how to write, how to calculate basic mathematics or arithmetic, and then maybe some environmental information so that the child will not be when it gets to the first part of the secondary school. I think that if we apportion the times properly, if we provide teaching and learning material, things will be okay in whatever subjects that we have at the basic school.
So who determines what they are taught? How does the syllabus look like? And what kinds of books? Who are the authors of those books?
Well, the curriculum authority determines the curriculum at the pre-tertiary level for the Ghana Education Service to implement. The curriculum, again, determines what books are appropriate to be present in our schools. So a list of books will be approved, and heads of schools are enjoined to acquire those books. In some other cases, the government itself acquires those books and distributes them to the schools.
Okay, so private investors like EPP Book Services, Challenge Book Services, they don't play any key role within the curriculum authority.
What they have to do is that if they have a book and they think that the book is good for the schools, they go to the curriculum authority for the curriculum authority to assess them and give it the approval stamp. Then schools can use them, or the best they can do without what I have said is to sell it in the open market.
I'll prick your mind quite swiftly on some 3 key issues, and we give our viewers the opportunity to ask you a few questions. Number 1, basic schools under trees. How do the statistics look now?
Well, the statistics is not static, and let me explain. You may remove all basic schools under trees in a district, but if there is a community that tomorrow comes together to build a school, to start a school, because they cannot have their children to walk 5 to 10 kilometers to school, that school have the tendency of starting under a tree. So the statistics will never be static. They will be eradicated, but it keeps reoccurring because new communities want education for their children, and they are starting schools under trees. But let me congratulate the government. For the past 10 years till now, the government have done a lot in trying as much as it can to eradicate schools under trees.
And Kofi, then the school feeding program, at the basic level, NAGRA teachers, I know, would also eat from the canteen, as we call cafeteria, in the Republic of Ghana. What is the quality of the food public basic schools serve the kids?
Well, by law, the teachers are not part of the school feeding. The feeding is it is for only the children.
And so it's the responsibility of every teacher to get themselves lunch and not eat from what the children eat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. However, a responsible head of school will have to be concerned about the quality of food that is served to the children. And you have a situation where some of the caterers complain that they have pre-financed the school feeding and they have not been paid. And that also affects the quality of the school feeding program.
Kofi, thank you so much for making time. But you hang in there, and there may be a few concerns our viewers may have, and then we'll give you the opportunity to respond to those. Thank you in part for this opportunity, and we'll get back to you shortly.
Thank you.
Mr. Kofi Agbe Kabonu is president of NAGRA. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, you have the opportunity to contribute to the show. Do stick and stay with us.
Do you want to enroll your ward in a school where quality basic education, discipline and moral upbringing is our hallmark? Then come to Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences Basic School. Great Asas, Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences has vacancies in preschool, lower and upper primary, JHS 1 and JHS 2, with spacious and ventilated classrooms. The school also has excellent boarding facilities for students from upper primary to JHS. Great Asas also has a well-stocked library, a school bus that picks your ward from home to school and back home, with adequate security measures to ensure your ward safety. Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences Preschool has state-of-the-art learning materials to make learning fun for your ward. We also have the cadet corps and a cultural troupe to tap hidden talents in your ward. Locate Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences at Awoshi Last Stop, Accra. Great Asa!
You're welcome back. We had quite a spirited conversation with Mr. Kofi Agbe Kabonu, President of NAGRAT. And I believe you may have a few concerns. Your WhatsApp messages have already trickled in. Abena will shortly join me to read some of them, but we'll give you the opportunity to contact us via phone. And the number to call us on is 0558 656899, and that will roll on your screens shortly, so you can call. We are still discussing basic education. We started on Monday, and this is the second edition, and we intend to exhaust all the issues. And the number will roll shortly on your screens, and you can call. And we'll put back the NAGRAT president to respond to some of your concerns. Hello, thank you for making time. Your name and where you calling from? Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I want to contribute on a program, but can you speak here to contribute?
Oh, sorry. Lower the volume on your set so we can hear you.
Can you speak here on a program?
Yeah, please do. Feel free. We are here to serve Ghana.
Okay. My problem is Ghana, a problem, you know, say, Obi, there be a chancellor or we will school, basic school. I have the big government school, no. So I call retire or no, I could be a private school. Coco passion.
Okay, thank you so much. I think your point is well made. The exuberance with which people serve in private schools is not like they do in public schools. You may also call us. I think the number will roll shortly on your screens. Then whatever views you have, we'll throw this question to President of NAGRAT, Mr. Kofi Agbe Kabonu. The number is on your screens. You can call onto the show and share your views on the discussion we had with the President of NAGRAT. So, hello? Hello? When you call, kindly lower the volume on your set. Hello? Yes, so Mr. Kabonu made some interesting remarks about the scarcity of resources at the basic school level, and he is also not enthused about the fact that students at the basic level or pupils share the place of convenience with the community. In some local authority schools, LA schools and MA schools. Hello, your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for making time.
Yeah, I'm calling from Kanisha.
Calling us from Kanisha. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm Kojo Ampefo.
Okay, Kojo. And speak up a bit.
Yeah, I'm calling from Kanisha.
Yeah, we can hear you, Kojo.
Okay. My point is, sometimes something happens, like what happened in KOSC. They will simply have to move fast. But like, they don't show interest. Even the first time the student was attacked, if the education ministers go there the next day, to meet the students, talk to them, to calm them down. But they wait until it will become chronic. That's our leader, their attitude. Not I want to something become chronic before they move in to for a solution.
Okay, Kojo, thank you so much for sharing your opinion. And also, the number of subjects that are taught in school now, they say EMS, English, Maths, and Science. These are compulsory across board for all basic schools, which is good. Kofi also mentioned that they do environmental science. Some are taught IT at that level. So we are in good shape in terms of basic education. We just need to sharpen the rough edges. NAGRAT, NAT, and other teacher associations are doing their best to give the kind of cutting-edge quality education we need for our kids at the basic level. And then in terms of materials, there is a curriculum authority that determines the kind of syllabi that are used in various schools. But one outstanding issue, okay, hello, your name and where you calling from? Hello, caller.
Yeah, I'm calling from La Paz. My name is Kwame.
Kwame from La Paz. Thanks for making time, Kwame. What's on your mind, Kwame? Hello, Kwame. Okay, I think we lost Kwame. Yes. I'm passionate about schools and the trees. And I wanted a few statistics from Kofi, but unfortunately, they don't have the numbers on the box because it waxes and wanes. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for making time. Yes, your name and where you calling us from?
I'm Isaac from Adenta.
Isaac from Adenta. Thanks for making time.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a teacher myself.
You are a teaching assistant?
Teacher myself.
You are a teacher, okay. What are your thoughts of basic education where you teach?
Apparently, there is a problem at the basic level.
Okay, what's the problem?
The problem is the number of pupils in the class. You can see a class of 150 children handled by only one teacher. How does he mark patients and other work?
So you say the ratio in some public schools, and if I get you right, Ike, in some cases there are 150 pupils to one teacher in a public basic school. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Can you give us an example of a school that has such an overwhelming number of pupils?
My brother, just send your people to Atomic.
Atomic.
Atomic and then Adenta area.
Okay.
At the basic schools. You have Adenta community. Go there and see what happens.
Okay, Adenton Community School.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you think that can be resolved? Do we split them? Sometime back for class 4, you would have A, B, C, D. Is that what you think should be done?
Exactly. And then if that is, the facilities are not there,
the facilities.
Teachers to a classroom.
Okay. And thank you so much.
Class control purposes.
Yes. Your point is well made, Ike. Thank you so much. This is all time will permit us on the calls. I welcome back Abena Safo. Abena, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Abena, what are some of the messages we have?
Okay, this leads us to our, the question of the day. Please, this is from Bedu from Simpa. Please, why is it that one child is learning about 10 subjects in school while teachers with mature minds are entitled to only one subject? That's one. That's a question, and then the other ones are actually comments.
Kofi said it wasn't too much about how many subjects.
Okay.
It has to do with the conducive enabling environment. And as president of NAGRAT, he thinks it is a moot argument when we say the kids are overwhelmed with subjects. So he thinks they can handle 10, but the facilities should be right.
Definitely. Okay, and then I move to the next comment. Hello, good morning. My name is Nero from Kumasi. I want to tell Ghanaians that KNUST has played a major role in technology development in the country. I think this is relating to
the trending news and the discussion we had. Okay, it is our wish that as a premier technological university, it will do more to help the industrialization efforts of the Republic of Ghana.
Definitely. And I think sometimes they have to exhibit it because some of them, we don't really see them, so we think they're not doing enough. So
yeah, I
they
think
should let
when
us
the
know.
university is equipped and the students have the right mindset, I believe we'll be able to get there.
Definitely. Okay. And the next one, Nana from Brekum. I love the show. Good morning, KTV.
Okay,
and
thank you, Nana. Keep watching.
And then another one. I applaud Kantanka TV for the great show. I want to find out from the president how he defined the performance of formal education in the country.
Okay, I think one question Kofi should have answered was how we look in terms of the performance, public and private schools. But he made it quite clear that the cream of the society would want their kids to access private basic schools rather than public ones. And then finally,
that's
you have
all
that.
our
Okay,
trending
thank you so much.
Today.
And this is all time will permit us, but two members of the crew are celebrating their birthdays today. It's wonderful here at Kantanka TV today. I would like to welcome one of them. Kukua is not around. She's celebrating her birthday. Wherever you are, Kukua, I wish you and the rest of the team wishes you a very happy birthday. And then we have one of our cameramen, Daddy Joe. Daddy Joe. And Rhoda will help. Rhoda, come on set. Daddy Joe, you can also come so that we wish you a happy birthday. Sir Charles, yeah, she does well with the makeup.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
She does our hair for us.
So, Sir Charles and Daddy Joe, you can come. Come, feel free.
Come, join us.
Yes.
The birthday man.
Yes. And then
we'll point him.
We have, it's a solid team. So many people, Efri, Obobi. Kofi, you can also come. So Sir Charles, you can come. Shasha, Obobi, and others. Abna, help yourself too.
Thank you.
Hey! Two cars I left primary. Change Latin, please. Basic, good morning. Why you late? Oh, my main shampoo. Why you late? My name is my last one. Why you late? Bejabe, Quebec, me. Why you late? Say, Major, good morning. Hey, why you late? Oh, my main shampoo. Oh, why you late? My name is my last one. Hey, why you late? Quebec, me. You're fast, but why you late? Hey, school the big kaka. You just for know your F again. Ha, hello, darling. Brother, if I wake up, say, me your own pay myself. What time I need to have it last time? Baby, I'm a best one, I would do my time.